It's crazy to think that one of my crappiest projects back in the day is ultimately what has landed me my personal dream client projects. Let me paint a picture for you. Back in 2011, young, freshly graduated Brent, still living in the basement of his parents' house, was trying to make this freelancing thing work. Back then, I was the Photoshop guy. I never used Illustrator. In fact, I was kind of terrified of it because it was such a foreign tool to me. But I knew if I wanted to really make a living out of logo design and getting those crisp vector graphics that I needed to learn Illustrator. So I took two things that I loved, music and design, and mushed them together. I tried my hand at doing some band merch, just for some random bands, and I got a suggestion from my cousin to do a t-shirt for the band Hawthorne Heights. This was a band I grew up listening to in high school back in the emo days, and this was one of their fairly most popular songs, Ohio is for Lovers. And I made this design. It's a very crappy design in so many ways. I think the only thing I like about it is the textures. I think that's pretty cool. But I mean, I used the font Lobster on this. So after I made this, I thought, why don't I just send it to the band? I mean, I've got nothing to lose, and see if they like it. Maybe I can have my own t-shirt at a merch table, which would be so cool. So I emailed them, and I'm actually going to read you a bit of that email. Hey guys, I've been doing some t-shirt designs lately. False. This was one of the first t-shirt designs I'd ever done, period, in Illustrator. I came up with this t-shirt design based on your song Ohio is for Lovers. I thought I'd give it a shot and send it your guys' way to see if you like it. I'm not expecting any sort of payment. If you guys are interested in the design, I can send over the vector file. Maybe you guys can even give me a shout out. Give me a shout out? Okay. If you're reaching out to potential clients and you're sending an artist your own designs or something, don't ask for a shout out, just don't. Thanks for your guys' time. Thanks for reading this. I hope you liked the design. Let me know. After reading that out loud, after so many years and cringing so hard, I know why they never replied back. But I didn't let that worry me. I wasn't really even expecting a reply. I just sent it out there and hoped for the best. After that, I just continued dabbling in a bunch of work, doing pretty much everything I could just to get by. But then, nearly a year later, I got a reply back. This is where things get interesting. They came out with a new album, and they don't want the design specifically, but they like that concept of the Ohio and some sort of word message in it. So they wanted me to put the word hope in it on kind of like a banner. And this is that design. That was approved. This was my very first merch design for a band that has ever been approved. It's been printed and sold at a show. That feeling is what made me obsessed with t-shirt design. All I wanted to do from that point on was t-shirt design. So over the next about 6 months, I just went after any project I could, but really I was hoping to get those t-shirt design projects. And I did get a couple here and there. And I continued to dabble in making my own fun t-shirts that were just like silly random designs. But a few months later, maybe around 6 more months or so, they reached back out to me. They said, hey, you designed this shirt for us and we're about to go on this big tour. Would you be down to design a whole merch line? A whole merch line. Of course, I replied back, of course, let's do this. So I worked one-on-one with the band and I came up with a bunch of ideas. Some they didn't like, some they did like. A lot of stuff went through revisions, but at the end, I had this handful of designs approved, a whole merch line. And then even after those designs, they wanted me to design some scrims for the stage. It's basically just a big stage banner. I had this whole project, this whole line of merch that I had designed and some little one-off projects that I had. But this project was the holy grail in my portfolio. All I wanted was more projects like that. So I basically featured that as like one of my main projects. And I even started focusing my website around t-shirt design. And I took out everything about website design and everything else I did. I just wanted t-shirt design projects. However, at this time, I also had that sort of imposter syndrome. I was chasing after band merch projects, and I was even blogging about this stuff to hopefully attract some attention to my website for that type of work. But yet I only had like one really cool project and a couple little ones. I had that imposter syndrome, but I knew I had to push through that. And it worked. After some time of completely wrapping my whole brand around t-shirt design and this project and some of the other little projects and my blog posts, I started getting more band merch projects. So as time went on, my portfolio started to build up more with these t-shirt design projects, and that got the attraction of one big merch company. They reached out to me, and one of the first projects we worked on was a whole merch line, which blew my mind, for Colby Calais. That project went very smoothly. After doing that really big project, that was one of the first dream projects, because I mean, that's a big touring artist. And I did another whole merch line. And then that client started giving me more and more work. And this really helped me with my confidence. And this is something I struggled with for years. And that's something I still sort of struggle with now. That's something I'll probably never get over. But that gave me enough confidence to really go all in on t-shirt design. This one type of work that I completely obsessed over. And so now that I was completely all in, I started reaching out to other bands and merch companies and really started to introduce myself. 99% of the time, I never got a reply back, but there are a couple that did reply back. And sometimes it was like months down the road. Even though I wasn't just getting a bunch of this amazing dream work, I was putting myself out there. And I was making all of these little opportunities for myself. And I even started getting referrals from some of the people that I looked up to that were getting a lot of extra work. One email led to another, and it's like people are still emailing me through my website. And it's just all these little things add up. And I think it's the mind-blowing thing is the whole point of the story is that I had this one really crappy design. And that one design turned into one approved design. That one approved design turned into a whole merch line. That whole merch line became the fuel to help get me a little bit of confidence to really go all in on this work that I wanted. I wanted more work, more t-shirt design work. So that's what I put out there. All of these little things brought in that one really big, awesome dream client that gives me that consistent type of work, which then leads to even more of those awesome dream clients, to where nowadays I've been designing stuff for Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. I mean, this is stuff I still have to pinch myself over. Not many designers can say that they get to do their dream projects, and I'm just now starting to scratch that surface and working on these projects that just blow my mind and that I get to obsess over. So after hearing my story, what are some takeaways for you? Being a designer in any capacity is going to be difficult, because the market of being a designer is super saturated. The only thing that'll keep you going is by finding the work that you obsess over. For me, that's t-shirt design. For you, that could be logos, that could be websites, that could be, mobile apps, whatever that is. You need to find that work. And the only way you'll find that work is through experimentation, by just doing everything, going through those processes, finding the stuff you don't like to do and the things you do like to do. So when it comes to building a creative career or freelance business, there just is no proven path. No matter what work you want to be doing, like my story, for example, there's no way I would have known that one crappy design is what will have sort of snowballed into landing some of these dream projects of mine. And I think you can pull some of these little tips from my story of, start with validating that idea and finding the work that you truly love to do. And then just start doing more of it, even if it's just a side project. And then, starting with small client projects and just letting it build up until your portfolio is starting to become full of all of the work that you enjoy doing most. And then using that to get your name out there and to attract the type of clients you want and to really focus your brand around what you want to be known for. For example, if you want to be a logo designer, there are countless other logo designers out there, but the way you'll stand out is if you have a portfolio solely focused for logo design and you start sharing stuff on your blog about logo design and your process on how you design logos. And it's what you talk about on social media. And it's just when you look like you're excited and that you love doing this type of work, that appeals to clients. Regardless of whatever it is you want to do or what stage you're at in your life or your career, all that stuff, just know that it's going to take a ton of patience and that it's definitely not going to be easy. However, if you put in all the time and the hard work, it is not impossible. There's no way I could have imagined that I actually made this freelancing thing, a viable career for myself. Hopefully you found this video useful, or at least the story sparked a little bit of motivation so that you start taking action and going after the things you want to be doing in life. Thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or found anything useful, and feel free to subscribe. It's totally free, and it's the best way that you'll get my next video whenever it comes out. Okay, that's all I got for you. Now let's get back to work.